Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Xavier. I am the coach of the Dallas Victory Stars, and you're probably not used to hearing me do this intro, but I have to since I am interviewing my co-host here, Ty.
How y'all doing? This is Ty523, coach of the Miami Heatrans, and I'm so happy to be interviewed by my buddy Xavier.
I know it's amazing.
Ha ha, you're funny.
Uh, but anyway, uh, let's just hop right into it. Basically, when did you start playing a Pokemon?
I started playing Pokemon back when Red and Blue first came out. I had the original Game Boy with got my first cartridge of Red, playing that in daycare all the time. Uh, Started out with a little old Bulbasaur because everyone was like, "I'm gonna choose Squirtle. I'm gonna choose Charmander." I was like, "Bulbasaur, right here.
Yeah.
Screw the first two gyms. I just beat you both.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go." So, and ever since
Well,
then,
that was
I've
the best
never.
starter.
Yeah, it's the best starter from Gen One. And I never stopped playing. I played it never even. I think I took a break during fourth gen. Fourth gen was my least favorite gen. I took a little bit of a break during there, but then as soon as I think I played Diamond like once, played through it once, and I was like, I'm done with this. And then went on, and once this fifth gen came out, started playing that, and haven't stopped since.
Mm. Well, that's pretty interesting. Now, next question. How long have you been doing competitive? Because competitive is a lot different than the main games.
That is very true. I've been doing competitive battling. I started during sixth gen. I started watching YouTube videos doing people doing competitives. Like Thinking Nappy did a little bit of it, but I was mainly watching Shady Penguin doing a lot of his, and so I wanted to get into it. And I've been to a couple of tournaments in my area doing competitive battling and stuff like that, and never won tournaments, but it was a lot of fun, and I was really looking forward to doing something a little bit different, like this draft league format. And but yeah, I think it was about it was definitely sixth gen when I definitely started. So.
Yeah. 6th Gen introduced a lot of new people to it, I think.
Yeah, it definitely did because it gave you a lot of more opportunity to do so since the Wi-Fi for the 3DSs was so much better than for the regular DSs. So,
Uh, yeah. Now, you sort of answered this question a little bit just now, but have you ever played in a league-type format before?
well, I never played in a draft league format. I played in a couple of like just regular tournaments. It was just sort of like it was. I played in one VGC tournament and did completely horrible. Got completely demolished because I knew nothing about VGC. And then I done a couple of just 6v6 matches, and I did okay. I won a couple of matches, but wasn't the greatest. But I mean, when you do that type of thing, everyone's like running the top mons from that tier. You're never really getting a chance to utilize other mons. But I never actually done a draft league format, and I'm really excited. 'Cause I've been wanting to set one up for a while, but never knew how to. And then I saw actually it was Xavier who got me into this draft league,
Yeah.
and granted he got pretty much almost everyone into this draft league. And as soon as I heard that he was doing it, I was like, I gotta hop board on this and try it out, and having fun ever since.
A little off topic, but I just wanted to say that real quick, that the person who actually came up with the idea in the comment section of the GBA videos,
Hmm.
he actually isn't in this.
Really?
He came up with the idea. Hayden kind of took over, and then we got like 5 or 6 people there, and then I like left another comment on another GBA video, and we kind of got everyone else.
Yeah, I think it was. I think I saw your comment. I don't remember which one it was on. I think it wasn't the D
I
League
believe it was
announcement.
on the update for the D League.
Yeah, it might have been that. I don't remember which one it was, but it was like the very first comment I saw, and I was like, oh hey, someone doing this. Why not?
But yeah, I just wanted to throw that fun fact in there real quick.
That's very interesting. I didn't even know that.
But yeah, as you were saying before, though, those competitions you were in are very different than this format, because here you'll try and counter team your opponents, which is very interesting, hard to do, plus you gotta prepare to be counter teamed.
That is very very true.
But anyway, the thing most people probably are interested in, we're moving on to your draft. How do you feel about your first pick there, Gengar?
I really enjoyed Gengar. I really was happy I was able to get this as my first pick. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to pick it as my first. Um, if Another fun fact, when the draft started, my Skype stopped working, so I couldn't actually see when people actually were trying to do their picks. So I was sort of out of the loop of what was going on. But with, thanks to Xavier, I was actually able to get in there and view all the picks and stuff like that. And when I was doing my draft setup for it, I was like, I wanted Gengar originally just due to the fact that it's very fast, hits really hard, and a lot of people don't really expect it to ever come. Like when you in the GBA, no one drafted Gengar, so it was like Gengar has a lot of versatile moves. It's very fast. It's a very good special attacking wall. I mean, special attacking hitter. Um, granted, like Sucker Punch and stuff like that are a thing and could cause a problem. I'm not too worried about it because I'm probably not going to leave it in on a Pokemon that will learn Sucker Punch. It's probably not going to be a smart idea.
Yeah,
But
I also see a lot of different support things he can do as well, like fast Willow Whisper, which would be very nice.
that is very true.
Could run
And
Trick on a Choice Scarf set.
that
A
will
fast
also be,
Taunter too, which is always.
that is
You
very
know I
true.
love those.
And what's great about doing the Will-O-Wisp, fast Will-O-Wisp, they think, oh, they're just gonna go for they're gonna go for like a dazzling thing or a shadow ball. Let me just sucker punch real quick. Does not work. Will-O-Wisp, your sucker punches don't do shit anymore. So
Also, speaking of Sucker Punch, Gengar gets that.
he
Do you
does.
plan on running a Choice Band Sucker Punch set?
You never know. I could. Does he get Shadow Sneak? I don't remember if he does or not.
Let's check.
That's definitely because if he can get Shadow Snake, I'd rather run that than Sucker Punch just due to
He doesn't.
doesn't that sucks. But yeah, I mean I could. He does. Ironically enough, he does get egg moves of all three elemental punches. So
And Explosion.
that is very true. And so
So, yeah. That's
Gengar
okay.
is very versatile. A lot of people don't realize that because they think, oh, he's just a straight special attacker. He's very versatile what he can do. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to
but
use him.
I know I'm kind of sound jokingly, but some of those physical moves could help.
They really, really could.
That priority Sucker Punch could come in clutch, that ice type coverage, which I guess you could have an Icy Wind, which would be pretty nice.
His name Icy Wind is very common in VGC with Gengar, so it could be run in this just to lower Pokemon speed. So
Also, like on Lando T, it could be very effective.
it probably the best move to go against Lano T. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, definitely.
Also, Giga Drain could run Giga Drain sub.
That's true. I believe he gets Energy Ball as well.
He does.
So
Really good coverage on Gengar.
definitely really good coverage. He's a lot more versatile than people give him credit for.
Do you feel it was your best first round pick? Because I know a lot of people questioned it.
It probably wasn't my best first round draft pick, but honestly, there wasn't. Out of all my draft picks, I didn't get really anything that I was really worried about losing in the first round draft pick, because I know no one was probably going to pick it in the first round. And being so low, because I was like I think out of the 12 of us, I think it was eight on the draft pick. So I would get something, and they would come back around to me, and I would get something really good. Nothing. I was not really too worried about anything else on my team really getting picked up. So I was like, well, I know some people knew I was wanting Gengar, so I was like, I didn't want to get sniped for that. So I was like, let me just get it just in case, and I can build a team around it, in which I think I did pretty well building the team around it.
Well, a lot of people in the format are surprisingly nice, so I don't think anyone would have purposely sniped you like that.
Oh, I would have.
Wow.
And we'll talk about one of the spawns that I actually did snipe from someone a little bit later.
Oh yeah. Nice transition. Very smooth.
Alright,
How do you
so
feel about Mega Charizard X?
Mega
Cooper didn't do very good in the GBA, so can
yeah,
you do better?
I'm hoping so. Mega Charizard X can be really, really good as long as you make sure that he's one set. Like, making him a mixed attacker doesn't really work with Mega Charizard X. If it was Mega Charizard Y, maybe. Mega Charizard X needs to be either straight physical or straight special, and he can be special. Uh,
Well, You could run Fire Blast just for Ferrothorn, since it will most likely be physically defensive.
You could. That is very true. But it really just. I have other mons that could possibly deal with Ferrothorn as well, so I don't know if I even want to keep him in there on Ferrothorn. But looking at the person who drafted Ferrothorn, I'm not too worried about his team. Let's be honest. It's the Atlanta Shocks, and I feel like he might not even bring the Ferrothorn because Ferrothorn doesn't really do a whole lot against my team. It can set up rocks, but and I only have 2 mons that are really weak to rocks.
Yeah, but that Charizard will not appreciate them.
No, the Charizard will not. But I also don't have any fairy types, so I don't have to worry about that. The only thing I really have to worry about with the Ferrothorn is if I try to go for a poison type move. But he only the Atlanta Sharks only has 1 fairy type. And I might not even go for a poison type move on it. I might just go for an electric type move since it's Zoomerl. So
I mean, you could run Thunder Punch or something like that.
I very could. So there's
Just
plenty
get
of
a little
different.
chip damage you can sweep.
So I'm not too worried about the Ferrothorn. I might plan for it just in case, but I can also run Hidden Power Fire on multiple mons as well. So
Yeah, there are multiple ways to handle it.
there are multiple ways to handle it. So I'm not too worried about it. But granted, majority of the time, most people just run it always as a physical, just straight physical attacker.
I mean, you could run it physically defensive, to be honest.
You could. It does get
It's Will-O-Wisp.
Roost, Will-O-Wisp, so it can eat up hits for days. It doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses. I think Ground, Dragon, Rock. I think that's all the weaknesses.
I think he only has 3.
I think he only has 3, and I can make coverage moves to go against those if need be. And
Also, he gets Belly Drum, just so you know.
he does get Belladron. I did not know that. But what's great about the 3 weaknesses that he has, they all are normally physical attackers. So with the Will-O-Wisp, I can eat up more hits than expected. So a physical Mega Charizard X can be viable. It definitely can be.
Also, it gets Solar Beam, so, set up the sun with something.
That is very true, and I do have some mons that do benefit from the sun as well. So
You do.
you never know. It could be a viable thing. I could run Sunny Day on it.
I guess people are going to have to be ready for anything.
When it comes to my battles, when I come to plan things, yeah, be ready for anything.
Like Special Terrakion.
Nah, maybe not.
I mean...
He could be. But yeah, I like the little segue there.
I mean, I'm trying my best. I couldn't think of anything else.
It's all good. Terrakion, I was really happy that no one drafted it. I was a little afraid because since it did take a while for me to get to this 3rd pick. I was like, I might not get Terrakion. I really hope not. It was the one mon on my whole entire team I was afraid of getting sniped the most.
Yeah, it is very good, regardless of how poorly it has been using over in the GBA with Dan.
I agree. Choice Banded, Choice Scarf, Life Orb, Assault Vest, has plenty of good items you can run on it. Leftovers, even if you want to make a defensive set, gets plenty of good moves. Poison Jab for fairy types, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Earthquake. It has a lot of really good moves that you can run that a lot of people forget about. And being a very strong physical attacker, make him adamant, full investment into attack, Choice Scarf. A lot of things are going to take at least 50% damage.
Yes, and I have mentioned in the past that a base 100 and above is amazing in this format because
very, very true.
In this format, it's not like everyone is going to have like Latios and whatnot.
Yeah.
So base 100 speed means a lot more now than it did in normal play.
That is very true. That is very true. Base 100 means a lot, and coming from the person who has a Pokemon that has straight base 100 stats, yeah, that's definitely a viable thing. That base 100 means a lot.
Yeah, it's just really useful to have.
It really, really is, and that's why someone I know decided to drop Bikini round 1. But
you can also run Focus Sash, Taunt, Stealth Rock lead set, which is pretty good.
That definitely is a good lead. There's Terrakion just has so many good sets that it can run with, and people just won't expect it from him. They won't know what set I'm going to run
Uh-huh.
until it already hits them in the face with a powerful Stone Edge or Earthquake or even a Close Combat.
Yeah, this thing's got, like, a lot of power behind it. Plus, it gives you a nice Pokemon to switch in on Knockoff, which is an incredibly common move.
And he'll
That,
resist.
like, even if it doesn't match up very well against your team, someone might just run for utility.
That is very true because knockoff is very common in this format, just like you said, and sometimes you just gotta run it just to get something off of something, just to make
Especially with that Dusclops sitting there, down there.
Wargre's Death Collapse. That was a lot of people probably didn't expect that.
Yeah, but that's not our next one. The next one we have is something I'm not a fan of, but Suicune.
I love my Suicune just due to the fact that it is so bulky. It's not the bulkiest mon out there, but it does a great job on the special side. It can eat up special hits for days.
I mean, its defenses are both 115, base 100 HP. That's disgusting.
It really is. And then
With
you
the
set
physically
up
defensive Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk.
or Resto Chesto. You can run that as well if you want to.
I didn't see much of that. You could run Extreme Speed if you're real, Choice Banded.
You never know. Scald, Ice Beam. Does he get Energy Ball?
I don't think so. These
Does he
things
not?
are generally run with the standard Crocoon.
It still is really good. Like Suicune, it's my special wall. Like I needed when I was going through this, and I was like, okay, I've dropped to 3 really powerful mons. I need a core. And I was like, what can I draft? I was originally gonna go for a mon that I'll get to when we talk about being sniped. I was very, very upset by losing this one mon. But then I was like, well, wait, Suicune's not drafted yet. Does the exact same thing. Why not just get Suicune?
Uh-huh. It does get Mirror Coat.
It does. And if anyone out there is a GBA fan and you watch Shady Penguin, you will know what mon I'm talking about when I got sniped. Mirror Coat is the thing. So,
Who has that one mon? Just up curious. Wait, Suicune gets Air Slash, just so you know.
ooh, that could be really useful for those grass types. But
Yeah. You could run that against Chestnut.
that is very true. That is very. Thank you for giving me a hint about but to go against your team.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna run that nice in a assault vest.
We'll see if I even have to bring this weekend. We'll have to see. But to answer your question, the Bailey Tom with the Bailey Munich, they drafted the mon that sniped me,
Ah.
and they drafted me in that in the 3rd round. So yeah, I was not upset. I was very upset by that. Very very upset by that. But
So what other things do you think you can do with Suicune?
like you said, you could make him a physical attacker. His physical attack isn't as great as a special attack, but
It's base 75. Like, if it has a decent coverage move, such as Extreme Speed, which is incredibly good priority.
oh yeah, especially priority is key. You need good priority in this sort of format.
Especially to take down threats such as Weavile and whatnot.
Yeah, especially just to get chip damage off something, or if something's already low and you're afraid of it just like coming in, just sweeping you as soon as even though it's so low. Just Extreme Speed or Sucker Punch or Shadow Sneak or something like that, and just you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So many items you can run on it.
Definitely a really solid mon.
It really is. Like I've honestly considered running item like berries that weekend electric type moves on it, grass type moves on it. Just there's so many good items you can run on, so many good moves you can run on. Suicune is a really good wall that a lot of people sleep on half the time. They don't even realize that it's like, oh my god, this isn't you. What the hell?
Yeah. Also, just so you know, it does get Tailwind, which, looking at some of your team, some things would really benefit from Tailwind support.
It would. I don't have the fastest mons in the world, so Tailwind will be useful.
Yeah, you have some base 70 to like 90 mons, which with Tailwind support will just be amazing.
It really would, especially with something like Choice Scarfs, and it's like, oh wait, there's 2 Choice Scarfs, but this one's Choice Scarf faster, but I have Tailwind.
Yeah.
Come at me. So, yeah, and that actually was when I drafted my next mon after that, being tied with each other. A lot of people thought I was going to draft a third one that went with them as well, but I drafted Raikou immediately afterwards.
Yeah, you did have that Firemon already.
Yeah, if I didn't have the Firemon, if I didn't have my Mega Charizard X, I might have drafted the Entei, because after I drafted Raikou in the 5th round, honestly, actually no, I would not have been able to get Entei. It would have got picked up right before my by the New England Patriots. So I would not have got a chance
I
for
guess
that.
he just had to scoop it up soon because he thought you were after it.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Even though I honestly wasn't even thinking about going for Entei. I just wanted a really good electric type Mon that hits really hard, gets initiative, that can be especially defensive if need be with assault vests. Um, and Raikou was it. I've seen John in the GBA use Raikou in a lot of different sets and a lot of different ways that a lot of people don't think of.
Yeah, not so much this season, but in past seasons of the GBA, we have seen fast electric types dominating.
Exactly. And honestly, when I'm looking at like all the drafts so far, like throughout, there's not a whole lot of really powerful electric types out there. There's Mega
Yes.
Manectric, there's Jolteon, which Jolteon has sort of gone under the radar lately, has sort of gone under the table.
Yeah, both the Thunderuses.
Both Thunderuses, which that's what I was shocked about, was one of the things that both got drafted.
Mhm.
And then Raikou was like, well, no. Like, this was like when Terrakion I picked up in round 3. Raikou not getting picked up by round 5, I was like, what in the world is going on? How does
Yeah.
no one pick this up? So I was like, alright, I'm picking it up. I want it. I want Raikou. And I got that, and you can even run a physical Raikou. Stars like Suicune doesn't have the greatest physical stats in the world.
It does also get that extreme speed, which even with a
As
low
well.
physical attack is really helpful.
That is very, very true. Physical attack is key. Now,
Also, just saying real quick,
yeah,
it has Zap Cannon.
does he get lock on?
I'm not sure. Hold on a second, let me check.
Because if he gets lock on, then I might run Zap Cannon, because
It
lock.
gets Magnet Rise.
Hey, that could be useful.
Not Lock On, sadly.
So Zap
But you
Cannon
could run I think it's Scope Lens or Wide Lens that increases accuracy.
Scope Lens does. I think.
One of them increases crit ratio, the other increases accuracy.
Yeah,
But that's
wide
it.
lens increases accuracy. Scope lens increases crit ratio.
Got it.
But yes,
You also could run Weather Ball
that is very true.
if you do set up the sun like we were talking about earlier.
That could be very good, especially for the Heatran. If I was like, well, I have nothing for the Heatran. Oh wait, I have other ball and sun's up. Done.
Uh huh.
And so he has a lot of really good moves. Like both of these two together, Suicune and Raikou are really two great mons together. Just one being attacker, one being a wall. I can switch back and forth. It's like ground move. Oh, let me just go into Suicune real quick and eat that up.
Also, I believe Volt Absorb has been released,
It has. Yes, it has.
so they would pair very well together.
So electric immunity would be really, really good. Now, my only concern is that when I was testing out different stuff before the actual draft, Entei, who I did not pick up, for me to run extreme speed Entei, it had to be an Adamant nature. It couldn't be anything else. The showdown would not allow me to have any other nature besides Adamant if I wanted to run extreme speed.
Mm.
I believe it was extreme speed because it says like Sacred Fire, I think it was running Sacred Fire, Stone Edge, Bulldoze, and Extreme Speed. And he said, according to Showdown, one of those moves is not allowed without the Adamant due to it being an event. I believe that is Extreme Speed because I know it can get Sacred Fire normally.
And Stone Edge's TM.
So if I wanted to run Extreme Speed on Suicune or Raikou, it probably will have to be an Adamant nature as well.
Well, I don't think it's Adamant. I think it's the default nature, which I actually think I've tried before, which is I think it's Rash.
Really?
Yes.
Because I know
I believe
Entei will
Rash
only allow
lowers the defense and raises special attack.
Okay, because I know Entei was adamant. It had to be adamant. So
Yeah.
I'll have to look more into that to see how the Suicune and Raikou fare with the extreme speed and what requires for it. But I'm excited for it. I think both mons are going to do really well with each other. And I believe didn't Suicune get released with Water Absorb as well?
If Raikou was released, I believe, Suicune too, so that's some nice immunities,
I have a lot of immunities on my team, a lot of them. So
which is a very nice thing to have.
it definitely is. I'm excited for it. I think that these two monsters do really well with each other. So I'm excited to use both Yellow Sacred and Blue Sacred. So
Yeah, got that air flood.
yep.
hmm
So,
Anyway,
so
also, Aura Spear is another event move that you can run on it. It's very nice coverage.
that is very true. That is very true. What a lot of I remind people a lot that this is going to be on Showdown, not on Auras. So really, as long as Showdown allows it, we can really run any move we want on it.
Yep.
So that pretty much when we're talking about immunities, one of the best immunity Pokemon in the game, Weezing.
Talk about segues, man.
A lot of people were probably a little concerned on why I picked up an NU so early on.
Well, that's because it's probably one of, if not the best NUs that you could pick, honestly.
Exactly, being a physical wall as it is with Will-O-Wisp, Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Destiny Bond,
Thunderbolt,
Thunderbolt. I believe it gets Blizzard as
Shadow
well.
Ball.
Shadow Ball. It gets a lot of really good special moves,
You
but it
could run
eats.
Assault Vest even.
You could run Assault Vest to just eat up more hits, and only has one weakness due to its ability.
Yeah, as long as you aren't versing any mold breakers.
Yeah,
You could
as
run
long as I'm not.
Explosion if you want to be that guy.
That is very true. That is very true. So, I have a lot of different options that I can run with it, and just it's a great because I noticed at first I was like, okay, I have a fighting resistance, I mean fighting immunity, but then a fighting weakness. So I was like, and I was like looking at the rest of the team that I wanted to draft. I was like, I don't know what would be really good against fighting, and I see like there's a lot of powerful fighting types that are being drafted besides Tracheon. So I was like,
hmm
poison, resist it. So I was like, what's another really good poison type? Weezing, physical wall, Will-O-Wisp, pain split if need be. It it does a lot of really good work. And then fairy types, the I can eat up pretty much any hit from fairy type even if it's special. So Weezing was just a really good pick, even though it was my 6th round pick. I think it was my 6th round pick. I'm it was something I was like, I want to get this now. Someone's going to pick it up later.
Yeah, you could run Toxic Spikes, which would be very useful if your opponent doesn't have a poison type.
That is very true, and especially if I see because they're not running any defogger or they don't have very many defoggers or rapid spinners.
Very useful hazard.
It definitely very is. I don't really care for toxic spikes just personally. I don't really like using them. I don't like going against them. But
Yeah, they're the hardest to use, but I feel like in this format, they're a bit easier to utilize.
yeah, all you have to do is just set up 2, and then the Pokemon will be badly poisoned. So like if you just normally toxic it.
hmm
So
Did we mention it gets Destiny Bond?
it does, which is all people always forget about. It's like, oh crap, Destiny Bond. I just went for a Psychic on it. This sucks.
But yeah, I could definitely see you running especially defensive, so it could take both hits, like on both sides.
So I don't need to put a lot of physical defense in it to still not eat up a hit. It can, if I don't put that much investment in it, it will still eat up a hit from any physical attack.
Yeah, it really just matters on what you need to wall. You can decide on your investments.
Yeah, and that just goes down to planning and when we get down to it. So,
hmm
and the special attacking moves that it gets, oh my god! Like we said before, it has so many options. Not
Yeah,
even
it has a
funny.
surprising amount of coverage. Also, another useful move that some people probably overlook is Haze, eliminating
Oh
all
yeah,
stat changes.
and that's really good because a lot of people will try to set up on you.
Oh, my mistake. Clear Smog does the same thing, but it also hurts them.
Yeah, I'll probably run Clear Smog over it, but because that's what Among Us really runs is Clear Smog.
I mean, just so you know, I have that Empoleon. That thing's gonna set up Swords Dances. Better run Haze.
So there we go. So I'm gonna need something that can, or like, does it get Whirlwind? I thought I get Whirlwind.
I don't think it does.
Come on, I might think of a different bulky Pokemon that
Oh,
runs
you
it.
could run Citrus Berry, Belch.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's actually a really good option.
Belch has 120 base power, Poison Stab. Could
That
put
could
in work.
that could definitely put in some work. So Weezing has a lot of options, and it It goes really well with some of my core mons, like with Suicune being my physical, Suicune being my special wall. It does a lot of good work.
Hmm.
And like that's like people say like, oh my god, the and Dan's team with the Chansey and Mega Sableye core was ridiculous. Suicune and Weezing are gonna be tough to handle.
They are.
So I'm excited to see what they do during the season and seeing
We're
if I
gonna
can
need
put
some
in some
strong
really good work with them.
secretaries. But yeah, Weezing, it's just generally like really good. Probably the best Enumon, and I definitely don't blame you for drafting it early. It honestly wouldn't last much longer.
Yeah, I would say maybe one round maybe left, and then it probably would have been picked up.
Yeah. So it may have been an Enumon drafted super early, but I mean, it's for a reason.
It, yeah, and I'm happy I got it. I'm sure someone probably really wanted it, but I got it before you, buddy.
All right then. But any last words on Weezing?
No, I think waiting is pretty self-explanatory.
All right. Now the next one. This is one that I definitely think is really good. Uh, you could say he is somewhat royal. Nidoking.
I was actually shocked that, just like with Raikou, Nidoking was drafted so low. But just like in GBA, I was drafted. They didn't even draft him in the GBA.
Yeah. I think Cooper picked him up as a free agent though.
Yeah, he dropped Lucario for it, which
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that pick too much. But that,
Yeah.
that's
Same.
that's just a whole nother story. But Nidoking, Life Orb, Sheer Force.
You can run mixed with Mega Horn, Power Up Punch, Poison Jab, Earthquake, Rock
Mm-hmm.
Slide, Sucker Punch, Superpower. Nidoking is amazing.
Nidoking is one of the best mons in UU, in my opinion. Granted, it does
Yes.
have quite a few weaknesses, but if I has a lot of coverage moves to deal with those weaknesses.
Yes, the only real downside I can see to Nidoking is he is slightly frail, but I feel like you can deal with that, and his speed holds him back a little bit.
It does, so that's why running like Twist Scarf is also an option.
But in this format where you counter other people's teams, you can probably afford that low speed. It isn't too much of an issue.
That is very, very true. And I have Pokemon on my team that could make it so that I am faster than them, like we said before with Suicune and Tailwind. So
Yeah,
there are a lot of different options of them. And
definitely a viable option.
like,
Nothing has to come in on that faster than Nidoking.
and I was actually very shocked that Nidoqueen was actually drafted before Nidoking was.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
And like I can understand why it was drafted. It was due to the fact that it's bulky
Hmm.
more than Nidoking, but it doesn't deal as much damage as Nidoking does.
Yeah, I definitely. Also, I don't feel as though Nidoking is the most efficient wall, but I can definitely see it doing well. But I personally prefer Nidoking.
Oh, I agree. Dan has in GBA has used it quite well.
He has.
I mean, some of the sets he created for, especially a lot of them being physical, I was like, okay, a physical Nidoqueen, I can see that.
Uh
But
huh.
like I'd rather have Nidoking. It's a much more viable mon in my opinion. So I was happy to have
Also,
it.
one thing I want you to know, uh, Water Pulse is better than Surf if you ever need water coverage.
Good to know. Also with the Water Pulse, I do get the confusion possibly. So
Sheer Force.
right, yeah. Oh, I might not. Hey, I could not run Sheer Force. You never know.
Also, he gets Poison Sting. Gets the Sheer Force boost. And
That,
Quash.
that is very, very true. But
And the Iron Tail for those fairies.
he well, I could just run a poison type move on it and be good to go.
Yeah.
But he gets a lot of good mons, he gets a lot of good moves and a lot of like different style sets he can run. People just I don't know why he's not used that much in this format. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I really don't see like why he wasn't. I feel like he definitely could be a really early UU pick, like someone dipping down into lower tiers before their higher tiers, just to ensure they get them. I could definitely have seen him going in the first few picks.
This was my very first UU pick, and this was my 7th pick. So I'm
It
just
is.
like,
I'm surprised you lasted so long.
yeah, I was very, very shocked. I was like, some of the other picks, I was like, I probably wouldn't have chosen that over Nidoking, but hey,
However,
I'm not complaining.
considering
I got it.
like everything is good, I guess maybe it makes sense that he lasted so long.
Yeah, I mean, there were some picks that I was a little concerned about. I was like, why did you draft that? But
Hmm.
I'm okay with no one picking Nidoking because I was able to pick him up, and I think he'll do amazing work on the team.
Yes, he has a very good coverage, and that sheer force boost is nothing to play around with.
Really, really isn't.
One does not simply wall Nidoking.
It's very, very difficult.
But yeah, anything else that you wanted to say about Nidoking?
Uh, Expected to be the MVP of the team.
I wouldn't doubt it, personally.
I'm hoping for it to be. I want it to be one of the best mons in the league.
But yeah, that last one was a king, and this next one is the king of the mob, Honchkrow.
Hans Crow. I honestly, when I was going for Hans Crow, you and I were discussing about it because you and I were talking a lot during the draft.
Uh-huh.
I wanted a Rapid Spinner or a Defogger. The ones I wanted though were already picked up, so I was like, crap. Like I didn't know who to pick. It was either this or Braviary, and I was
Yes.
like, who do I go for? And I was thinking, it was like, well, I think it was Bob that brought up with the Atlanta Shocks that I sort of had a really strong psychic weakness.
Yeah.
So I was like,
you had
well,
3 poison types.
yeah, 3 poison types and a fighting type.
Hmm.
I was like, I need something to help counteract that. Honchkrow, Dark type. There we go. Um, Sucker Punch, U-Turn, Heat Wave.
Just so you know, it doesn't get U-turn.
Alright, we talked about that. I always forget that it doesn't. I'm thinking Staraptor. But still, Sucker Punch, close. It does get Heat Superpower.
Honestly, it doesn't need U-turn because it's just going to stay there and build up those Moxie boosts and sweep.
That would be nice. I think he gets. He just gets really good mons. I think he gets. Man, I really probably should look up its actual moveset like have in front of me. I feel like an idiot. But I know he just gets a lot of really good moves with, and you can make him physically bulky. He has some decent physical bulk to him.
He does have a good amount of HP, and I mean, as we've seen with Chansey, HP means a lot with base 5 defense.
It really, really does. And so, Heat Wave, get a burn on something. Could do,
You could Thunder Wave something if you need that speed control. Tailwind.
Speed control is probably going to be sometimes the number one thing I need to do during this game, during this league. Because, like we said before, I don't have the fastest mons in the world, but I have ways of getting around that. And
Definitely could run a bulky variant though with Roost and Thunder Wave.
and Heat Wave just in case I want to burn something, and then Sucker Punch, or I can run Pursuit.
Yes, Pursuit could trap something, get you that Moxie boost, and then just Sucker Punch away.
And that would be really, really good. Honchkrow, I don't see myself using it very much, especially, like, it really just depends on, do they have a powerful psychic type that I need to wall?
Victini.
Ha ha ha, you're funny. But, besides, like, Victini and Mega Alakazam and Azelf, there really isn't a whole lot of really powerful psychic types in the league that got drafted. So and especially being my only real weakness to rocks besides Mega Charizard before he Mega Evolves, I don't see much real use for him. So he's pretty much just going to be there if I absolutely need him, sort of like my last resort sort of button.
Mm-hmm.
If I need him on that's going to do a lot of damage or be the bulk that I need that can still dish out a lot of damage, Honchkrow going to be it.
You could run Psycho Shift, just in case anyone wants to try to burn you.
Why not just run Flame Orb Psycho Shift?
I mean, because then you can't permanently get rid of the burn unless you, like, fling it.
Well, yeah, but I can still try to burn a lot of things and then be good to go. Speaking of that, I was actually considering drafting Sigilyph at this for this pick as well. Decided to go to Honchkrow even more over that, so...
Yeah, Sigilif, Magic Guard, Cosmic Power is stupid.
Yeah, and I sort of needed this. I'd rather have the immunity to psychic over the resistance. So
Uh-huh. Plus, you don't, as you said, you don't have a really bad rocks weakness, so you can handle it.
yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I can put enough HP in it in Honchkrow. It only takes like 25% due to rocks. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
My last
But
3 months.
anyway, yeah, you got that Dusclops there that we mentioned earlier.
I was very when I was planning out my draft. Dusclops was one of the main things I wanted. This was like besides Gengar, this was the number one thing I wanted out of the whole entire league. If I could pick up anything, I was gonna pick this up late draft.
Really?
No one was gonna pick it up. Eviolite Dusclops is too damn good.
It is, yes.
With Will-O-Wisp, Hex, Pain Split, Trick Room.
You could run a trick to counter people who want to trick that Eviolite off you.
Exactly. But Trick Room could be very good since I have some slower mons. I can run Trick Room and outspeed everything. Cause I can not bring Raikou 1 week and just have or Gengar and have like Charizard with no speed investments, Terrakion with no speed investments. Set up a Trick Room. Good to go.
Yep.
Has just really good coverage moves. Doesn't have the greatest recovery besides Pain Split, but it's not gonna take a lot of damage. It's gonna take a while for damage to get down onto it.
I mean, one of your later picks could Healing Wish into it.
That is very true, and that's probably something I could possibly do.
It's really a pretty viable option.
It really is, and I don't think a lot of people expected it from me when I was I wasn't really paying attention to the chat very much when we were drafting, but
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people were like, "Wait, Dusclops just got picked? What the hell?" 'Cause I don't think Dust Noir got picked.
It didn't.
So people were probably wondering, it's like, wait, why would you choose Dusclops over Dust Noir? I didn't really need another good special attacking ghost type. I really needed a good wall with Eviolite. Chansey was taken. I could have got Doublade, but I was like,
The Blade isn't really a good wall. Also, I don't think it gets Will-O-Wisp.
Exactly. Magneton, it's good for speed control.
It is.
T-Wave.
Plus, I think it's got like base 70 speed, so I mean, you can outspeed like the slower tiers of mons.
Exactly. So there wasn't a whole lot of Eviolite Pokemon that I could really go for, and I really, really, really wanted Eviolite Pokemon. And I was like, well, I've gone against Dusclops so many times on Showdown.
Yeah, people run it in higher tiers. It's kind of it's like NFE wheezing.
I'm just like, I cannot deal with this. Even a knockoff from a physically attacking Pokemon will not OHKO a Dusclops.
That's just crazy, honestly.
Exactly. Being its stab and super effective, it still will not OHKO because it's just so damn bulky.
Yeah, it may lose the Eviolite, but it's still got base 130 defenses.
Exactly, and I can just he's probably gonna go for knockoff. Let me just Will-O-Wisp it real quick, and then switch it out. And then be good to
Also,
go.
you could run Disable.
I could, and then just, hey, you don't get knockoff anymore. Sorry, buddy. Hex, I was really considering I might bring Will-O-Wisp Hex a couple times, because Will-O-Wisp Hex does so much damage.
It does, even though you kind of got a slightly low special attack stack on.
Yeah, but it still does enough damage to, it will be at least a 2 to 3 hit KO on a Pokemon. Depending on how high that special defense is on that mon. So I was really happy about Dusclops, and I knew no one was gonna. I could just say this for my last pick if I really wanted to.
You probably could have.
But I was like, there wasn't a whole lot I really wanted. I was at the sort of tail end. I was like, all the things I really wanted were already taken. So what can I get? And I was like, I'll just get this now, and I'll figure out the other 2 mons afterwards. And I was like, there we go. Dusclops.
Who knows? Better safe than sorry. Maybe someone actually did want it.
Yeah, it possibly could be, and I'm sort of glad they didn't. So, but go from one wall to another,
Yep.
Rhyperior.
Now, Rhyperior, I personally really like, and when we were talking during the draft, I almost wanted to pick it.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's why I was like, okay, well, I really need a good Pokemon to set up Stealth Rocks. I have Nidoking that can learn it, and Terrakion that can learn it.
Yeah, but they are not the best at doing it, unless you want a suicide lead.
Exactly, and I didn't really want to waste a move slot on one of them to run Stealth Rock. So I was like, I really need a good Stealth Rock user. And I wanted another physical wall. So if I didn't want to use Weezing, if I was like, okay, well, this person has a really strong Psychic type. Well, I'm not bring Weezing this week. I need another physical wall. Rhyperior. I can also run Assault Vest Rhyperior, which I did the calcs for it. A specially defensive Assault Vest Rhyperior that's calm can live a Water Pulse or a Water Pulse from a Mega Blastoise that's modest and fully specially vested.
That's just stupid, honestly.
I'm
Like
just
I thought the Dusclops knockoff was dumb. This is just insane.
exactly. That's why I was like, bulk is real. Because at first I was like, I don't have any bulk. When I first started doing the draft, I was like, I have no bulk. And I picked up Weezing, and I was like, I still don't have enough bulk. I have Suicune and Weezing, but it's like, I need something more like concrete that's bulk.
Oh yeah, also I just want to throw in there, base 140 attack could run Choice Banded, Earthquake, Stone Edge.
Exactly. I don't always have to run him as a bulk one. I can. It's ridiculous how well he is.
He just really is so powerful. And as you said, he can handle his 4x weaknesses, especially with that ability Solid Rock.
Solid Rock was an amazing ability that they gave him. I thought it was perfect. And I was like, a Stone Edge is going to hurt something, no matter what it is. It's going to hurt.
It is.
Earthquake is going to hurt. They're both stab, they're both physical, 140 base attack, Choice Banded, or even Life Orb. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. He doesn't have really any recovery, so, like I said, my last mod, I could go for Healing Wish and try to get back into him if I have to. But honestly, majority of the time, I only see him setting up the Stealth Rocks. If he lives the hit, or if they switch out, and I can just go for some moves to do damage off on it. And no matter what it is, it'll take a lot of damage.
Yeah, one thing you might consider in the trades or free agency, you might want to try and get a Wish Passer.
I'll probably consider that. I don't know who I will drop for just yet. I want to see how all these mons do right now. Are there any viable Wish Passers that are grass types?
Celebi, maybe?
No one dropped Celebi.
I think Celebi gets Wish.
I'll have to double
It
check
also
that.
gets Heal Bell, so it can be all Clericy.
And also Psychic type, so I do get the resistance to Psychic again, so. It is an option,
Watch out for those bugs, though.
So it will definitely be an option. I was actually considering drafting Celebi, but I didn't have. But see, the problem with Celebi is that it's an OUA.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I would have to drop some that's an OUA as well. So I'm just like.
Also, I just checked, so no one get mad at us. Apparently, Celebi doesn't get Wish. I thought it did.
Darn it.
That's on me.
So I definitely go for a Wish user. Honestly, I consider trying to get a Fairy type.
Clefable? I don't think Clefable was taken.
Clefable was not taken. I could go for that. That is an option, because I know Clefable gets Wish.
You do have 20 points left over if you do some... Oh wait, yeah, you have 20 points left over.
Yeah.
If you do some weird moving things around, I think you can soup it up.
That's definitely an option, so I'll definitely look into that and see what I can get. But first, I just want to see how this team works. And
yeah, definitely. Don't want to get hasty.
Yeah, because the one Pokemon that I can see me getting rid of is my last Mon. Because that was sort of a last minute thing, thanks to you bringing it up to me.
Wow, blaming me.
No, I'm not blaming you, I'm thanking you, because I would never have thought about using this Mon. And that is Shaman Land.
Shaman Land is really good. That natural cure is really helpful.
Base 100 stats.
It's one of my favorite abilities, just because screw statuses. And it gets aromatherapy.
That is very, very... And also, like I said, it gets Healing Wish, so if I'm on my last breath with it, Healing Wish off, and go into another mon that's low on HP,
Uh-huh.
all the HP back.
Also, one of the main reasons I love Victini, it has a not on Shaman Seed Flare. It's not like totally just to him, but it's a very powerful stab
It
attack.
really, really is. Being base 100 stats all across the board, just like Fatini is, I can
Uh-huh.
run it any way I want.
Yeah, you can run defensive. It gets like Leech Seed. Could run substitute if you really want to be a dick.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I can run special defenses. So like, if I was like, well, I don't want to use this mon just due to X, Y, or Z, and it's one of my bulky mons or one of my attacking mons,
Mm-hmm.
put a shaman in there as an alternate.
It
So I
gets
was
great
like,
coverage too.
it really does. Like, it learns like, a lot of great moves, and then make it a special attacker and just run a hidden power on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's. I'm surprised no one picked it up. This was my last pick, and no one
Yeah,
picked it
it's
up.
kind of like Tyranitar as last pick almost,
Yeah, I was like,
because it's just really good.
because like I would think that a lot of people would want these like fairy type, like not the fairy type, these like fairy legendaries like Mew,
Yeah, the base
Victini.
100 stats across the board because they're just so versatile.
Exactly, like why not pick that up? And Mew and Victini both got picked up first round.
Uh-huh.
Shaman got picked up last round.
And, I mean, out of the three, Shaman is probably, like, the worst, but
Oh
he's
yeah,
not bad
definitely.
by any standards.
I will agree with that 100%. Mew is probably the best, and that's why Clay with the Carolina Pansiers drafted it round one, pick one.
Yeah, because it's just, you cannot predict it.
No, it will run any set it wants to run, and that's scary. But
Yes.
I was happy about it, and I'm happy with my team all around. I think I've drafted a really, really powerful team here.
I do think it is pretty scary.
I think I'll be able to come up with some really good sets that will make up for everything and really bring home, hopefully, the division, at least division title. We'll see how far we go after that.
Yeah. Is that all you have to say for Shaman?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I
Alright,
have to say.
one thing that you were sort of mentioning throughout, were there any huge snipes that you got?
Yes. When we were talking during the draft, and you noticed that I got sniped a lot.
I got sniped like 2 or 3 times, but it really, honestly, worked out well for me still.
Yeah, like I got sniped a lot, but I was happy I got sniped after looking at my team. Because I would not have picked up these mons if I didn't get sniped.
Mhm.
Like I have Suicune in here. My first choice for a bulky water type was Milotic. Someone picked it up right before I could pick it up. I was like, I think it was the Bailiff Munich picked up Milotic in the third round. So I was like, well, it was going third round into the fourth round. So I was like, well, there goes my auto pick. I was like, wait, Suicune does practically the exact same thing.
It really does.
So why not just pick up Suicune? So I was like, that works.
It does a slightly different job because it can run that Calm Mindset,
Mm-hmm.
but it can do basically anything Milotic can.
It really can. That was probably one of my biggest ones. What sucks is that when I was having Skype problems, I tried to restart my computer to see if I can get it to work. That didn't help, but I forgot to save my file that had all my draft picks on it. So I was like, well, crap. But Hydreigon, I really wanted. Heatran, my team mascot, I really wanted. What else?
Heatran sniped literally second pick
It
the
was.
entire league.
Yeah, and it was by Hayden with the Calgary Flamethrower, so I was like, well, that's not gonna happen. I really wanted Mega Venusaur, but I decided to wait to see if I could pick that up my second draft pick. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
New England Patriots picked it up beforehand. I was like, darn it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, really Milotic and Hydreigon were I really want a Hydreigon, being so versatile as it is. I really want a Hydreigon.
Yeah, I considered it myself too, but then I changed my mind to Ugology, but then that got sniped, so I got Kyurem. But I'm happy with Kyurem. He's good.
See, I think that's what like a lot of, at least for the people that we've interviewed so far, some people might have got sniped, but they were happier with the picks they got instead.
Yeah, which is nice to see. Everyone's happy with what they got.
Yeah, like I said, I would never have picked up these mons. Like, I was gonna pick up Donphan, sort of to go against the Atlanta Shocks, because he was talking about picking up Donphan. Of course, he gets picked up right before me by the Cincinnati Red Genius. So I was like, well, crap. But I mean, that would have been two water weaknesses that I didn't really need.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what to do. And that's why I picked up Honchkrow instead. But other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot of other mons that really made me feel like get all upset because I didn't get them. It was probably just Milotic was the biggest thing. I really, really wanted Milotic, and I just got Speaker instead.
Yeah, but at least your draft turned out pretty good, and you're happy with what you got.
That is very true.
That's what matters.
Yes. Yes.
But moving on, which team do you think you're most excited to fight?
Well, this is a two-part answer. Team that I feel like I'll have the best matchup against, that I do really well against, is the Atlanta Force Palms. I feel like my team matches up against them really well. I'm like, they have a Dragonite. I'm not too worried about Dragonite. Weavile, not too worried about Weavile.
Yeah, that Suicune kind of deals with them very well.
So does Mammoth. I mean, so does Weezing.
Yes, too. Yeah, that too.
Mamoswine, not worried about. Mega Blastoise, Rhyperior. I mean, that just answers it right there. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Blaziken, not worried about. Reuniclus, Credilly, yes, I hate Credilly so much.
Reuniclus might be a problem. You're gonna have to bring Honchkrow probably.
I'm gonna have to bring Honchkrow. This might be one of the times where I'll use Shaman as a defensive wall.
Also, you could run Megahorn Rhyperior.
That is very true. I could do that as well. Cradilly, I just hate going against Cradilly. It's a great mon. It's so annoying.
But you got that Terrakion.
Yeah, so I'm just like, whatever. I also have Nidoqueen for that too, as long as he doesn't use Magnet Rise. I'll say Magnet Zone. I can use Sludge Wave on Cradilly and take it out just fine. Or even Poison Jab. Either way. Then Vivillon and Yanmega, which made no sense to me drafting both of those back to back to each other. But I just had to set up rocks and both of them are crippled anyways. So
I can't see him bringing both of those.
I honestly, compared to my matchup, like just by my matchup compared to his, the team I think he'll bring is Porygon 2, Cradilly, Reuniclus, Mega Blastoise,
Dragonite probably. I think.
Dragonite, and then maybe Weavile or Mamoswine, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, maybe Mamoswine.
I see Mamoswine for the Earthquakes, just to go for like Tracheon and Rhyperior and Nidoking.
I think Weavile would be better personally, because I don't see ground coverage doing too good against you.
I mean, I have a lot of Pokemon that are weak against ground, but then I also have.
But I feel like you're definitely going to bring the Honchkrow against him, and you could. Like, there's a very good chance you could bring either the Weezing or the Gengar. It's just you'd have so many immunities. It's like, why?
And then Mega Charizard, it's flying, so just.
Yeah.
Mega Ball is just.
Like, if you just switch in on it, you're fine. Also, you naturally outspeed it, assuming he's not scarfed.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about his team. So I'm sure I could be completely wrong. I can get owned. If I go against him twice, I could lose both matches for all I know.
Yeah, you never know.
But like looking at just based off teams right now, I feel like I have the better matchup right now.
But you never know.
I never know. But for fun wise, I think going against you is gonna be a lot of fun.
I am looking forward to it. Looking at how our teams match up, I don't really see any significant things other than your Terrakion putting in a lot of work.
That is true, and that it really just I think pretty much my main thing is I'm gonna have to just plan really well and plan creatively. If I can plan around that Victini and make sure that I can take it out with a good portion of my Mons, I'll be fine.
Yeah, Victini could definitely potentially put in a lot of work against you, considering you have 3 poison types.
That is true, but I also have Dusclops.
You do, which can probably handle it pretty well.
It will wall Victini pretty well, especially with the EV light on there. And all I have to
Yeah.
go is for one ghost type move, and do a lot of damage to you.
Uh-huh. That
So,
could be a problem for me.
um, I think you and I will only probably battle each other once, but I think we'll have probably the most anticipated battles in our conference.
I'm very excited for that as well.
I think those two, the Atlanta Force Palms and you with the Dallas Victory Stars are going to be the two matches I'm looking forward to the most.
I see. Complete 180 from that, though. Which team are you least excited to verse?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Probably the answer to this is basically just, what do you think you have just a horrible matchup against and you're just going to get bodied?
Uh, Honestly, the Carolina Panthers, Clay.
Pansiers?
I don't think I have a good matchup against them at all.
Yeah, Mew, it's unpredictable, plus it's that psychic type that you're kind of
Hydreigon.
weak to, so you are again forced to bring Honchkrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, that would be the week to run uh, Psycho Shift, I think is the name of the move that transfer the status.
Yeah, the Psycho Shift.
Because I could definitely see him running Will-O-Wisp on Mew, even if it's not defensive, just to avoid Sucker Punch.
He could. And then he also has Hydreigon, Rotom Heat, Diancie, non-Mega,
Yeah, those things
Galvantula to
definitely
slow me
dampen
down
your
even
team.
more. Which, if he brings Galvant, like, I honestly would plan for him to bring Galvantula and possibly bring Trick Room.
Sticky Web does hurt your team,
It does, but
but not too much.
if I can predict him to bring the Sticky Web and bring Trick Room instead, it helps me out 10 times more because it's like, oh wait, I'm being slower now. Maybe I go first.
I
Violet
mean,
Plume is a
you
major
want to
problem.
make the plays.
Violet Plume is a major problem. I only have two mons that really deal with Violet Plume really well. And that's Honchkrow and Charizard.
So yeah, that might be a bad match for you, but at least you don't have to fight him twice.
That is very true. I don't think I have to. I think it's just. I mean, he is out of division. He's in your division, my conference. So I'm gonna have to go against him no matter what. So it's just the one match I'm worried about the most. I'm sure if I just plan accordingly, I can have a decent chance against him. But we'll see. We'll see.
It's just that Mew, man.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's scary. But anyway, I believe that is all the questions we have. You have any last words for those Miami Heatrans fans?
We're just gonna try to bring home the trophy, trying to do the best we can, and try to win season 1. If not, just at least make the playoffs. If we can make the playoffs, that'd be amazing. But
As long as you don't get 6-0'd by Victini, I think you'll be good.
I think I'll be fine. I don't think I'll be. I think I'll have decent matchups against all my opponents, hopefully. So cross your fingers.
Yeah, your team, even though it does have some overlapping typings, I really don't see too many weaknesses that you can't handle.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But anyway, we're going to get out of here.
Alright, I just want to say thank you all for coming out to watch the video. I am Ty523, the coach of the Miami Heatrans, and I will see y'all later.
Bye.